Herzlich willkommen zu der 5. Folge von der 3. Staffel. And today we will speak in English because we have an international guest over here.
Yay.
Welcome, StarrLight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we wanted to have you here for a long time, so I'm very happy that it has worked out now.
Yes, it finally did.
Yeah, and as I said, you are an international performer. You grew up in Netherlands.
Yes,
and
correct.
you have roots in Curacao.
Yes, also correct.
And now you live in Basel.
Yes, I do.
You know, for me, I would love to start with why in Basel, but we will come to this point later. So, yeah, we will start with our category, of course, and after that we will talk about your journey in the music, about your phenomenal rap skills and how you get there, or you got there. And of course, also a little bit about your music in itself, because it's very political, but I think in a very special way.
Okay.
And yeah, these are our topics today.
Let's do it.
And as usual, we have Alia here. She's hosting the chat. And if you have questions directly to StarrLight, it's your chance to ask, as usual. So let's start with the category. What is the biggest beginner mistake?
I don't think I really made a big mistake because I really started this journey very aware and conscious of knowing what I want and how I want to be perceived by the world before I even started releasing music. But of course, you still have things to learn and you don't know the industry and how things work and the contracts, etc. So I would say my biggest mistake was to actually trust a human being without contracts. But yeah, this was still in the beginning, so I don't really count this as a mistake. I also don't really have regrets because it really actually taught me how everything works. So, but yeah, that would be my mistake.
Yeah, I see.
Trusting humans.
You have already like a different point of view on mistakes or making mistakes. So I got your point. But is there something that you thought like, oh man, why didn't I knew this before? It would be very helpful when I knew this before I got into
I only
it.
did contracts because this basically led me into bad deals and sometimes didn't get my money while I already performed. So I think that would be something that if you're a beginner artist, really check that because that's really important. Yeah.
And to always have a contract like already before.
Exactly.
Even if it's just a mail or something that, because I also had the experience with artists that they got their booking and 3 days before they said, okay, we don't do it.
Exactly.
And then
something like that. Yeah.
You
but
have
you
to
reserve your time, etc. And in the beginning, obviously, you don't have a packed schedule as an artist. But along the way, your schedule gets packed. So reserving your time is also money. So yeah, that's absolutely something I would advise artists.
Yeah, I think that's a good advice. So tell me more about your journey. How did it start? Where did it start? How did you realize that you really want to make music as a profession?
Right. I will start with the why first. I was just a girl with a lot of emotions and I didn't speak about any of these emotions. Even though I had a safe space to speak about it, I just couldn't. And I got into martial arts, so I was able to express myself physically, but I still needed something to actually express myself with words. And I didn't really know how to put words to the emotions that I was feeling. And then I got into music and this was the thing that I was searching for. This was my therapy. This was the start of my emotional intelligence. This was the start of me knowing how to put words to emotions and feelings and how to express yourself and how to communicate. So it all started rhythmically actually. And how I did it was basically, it was back in the day, so we didn't have, like, you couldn't just Google the lyrics. And
what age you were when you started?
I was 14.
14.
Yeah, at 14, I wrote my first lyric ever. But it just started by listening to my favorite artist, and then I just wrote down the lyrics, and then just to understand what they were saying, and see the patterns and the rhyme schemes and the flows that they had. And then I thought, I think I could do this myself. And this is when I wrote my first lyric.
And then you realized, okay, it's harder than I thought, or you
No,
was like,
it came naturally, actually. But of course, you still have to develop. So it was bullshit lyrics. I don't know if I can cuss, by the way, but
yeah, you can.
okay, good. It was bullshit lyrics. It was just, you're the gangster chick and shit like that. But it was just developing flows for me in the beginning. And then I started to actually put emotions and feelings into my lyrics and started speaking about different topics.
Yeah, I thought when you said that you learned to express your emotionally, that it's also a process, right?
Yes.
Of course, you start with like easy and not that deep lyrics.
Exactly.
But that's how you learn to get deeper.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, and just learn how it works, how to rhyme to a beat. Like, what are 16 bars? How do you even structure a whole song instead of just rapping? Yeah, stuff like that.
And why is it a rap for you and not singing?
I can't sing.
Okay, that's a simple answer.
Yeah. It's simple. I mean, I can have like melodic notes, but to me, I can't sing. And I was more into hip hop than listening to like R&B. Obviously, I still did, but hip hop was number one for me.
Yeah, I also think that if you do rap music, you can also go deeper in the lyrics than in normal music.
Yes and no, you can maybe say more in that amount, but I think you can also really express your feelings while you sing. For me,
Yeah, feelings, yes, but I think to express topics,
right?
It's rap the better tool because it's made for talking. It's more about talking about something than to feel. I mean, of course, you also feel, but that's why I think if you want to really bring a message,
yes.
maybe it's easier with rap. But
maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for the singers because
Yeah.
I'm not a singer. So maybe they feel like they can fully express themselves. But for me, it's hip hop. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean the opposite of it is I think that I don't know. It's a question, but I think it's harder to learn to rap really good than to learn to sing. I don't want to compare it.
Right.
It's not about this in this topic, but I just want to express how much work it is to be a good rapper.
It is work. Yes, it is work if you want to do it properly. Yes. Yes.
So how much did you exercise, for example? What did you do to get better in the skills,
I was always every single day writing lyrics.
Crazy.
Every single day. When I first started and I realized, I have something here and this is the way I can express. Obviously, I didn't share it with nobody except for my mom would hear it, of course, and my close friends. So we would just rap together. And for me, it was always every single day I came from school, it was music, like constantly. We just had a plastic mic and we just pressed record and then just sat there the whole day doing music.
Yeah.
Not really writing, just flowing.
Yeah, enjoying and
yes, exactly.
exercising.
That's how it started. And then I started to create certain patterns, certain flows. I started to develop me as StarrLight. And I think more than thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of writing. But also while you're practicing, because you're writing and practicing your lyrics, you're also practicing your skills and delivery skills and how to do things. So, but it was all
in one
playful and it was with just friends together doing music. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, maybe I should do this professionally.
I see.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask, what I think is very impressive about you is, for example, you can rap very fast.
Thanks.
You are so fast, but you are also you know how to use your voice, like the deepness, the highness, or the da-da-da-da. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So did this come everything together, or did you say, okay, I want to rap very fast, so I start with practicing this?
No, it actually just developed itself. I think it all came naturally because in the beginning I didn't rap fast at all. It was just trying to figure out how to put certain schemes in there because it's not like the ABC rap. I wanted to incorporate certain words that rhyme to words that actually don't even rhyme, but when you say it, it rhymes, and when you flow it in certain ways, it somehow still fits and rhymes. So this is when I started to go off the pattern of rap. And while I was basically developing my skills and flows, this is when I also started to develop my sound and the way I have to use my voice and the amount of stages and open mics I grabbed before even getting paid for a first show and investing from my own pocket. This all gave me the tools and the weapons to create what I am today. So it's just basically all experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mix, but it was very coming intuitively.
Yeah, it just came. It was like a certain, because I write to beats, so the beat tells me what to write, and it also gives me the flow. And there was just a day that I had like a fast beat with a fast BPM, and it just started. And of course, I listened to Bone Thugs, I listened to Twista, so it was familiar already, but I just never tried it. And when I started that, it wasn't as fast as now.
Yeah.
It just started by multi-syllable rhymes, and then it just developed itself to what it is now.
But I think that's very interesting because when I saw a lot of performances of you live, and what I think is very interesting about you is before you go to stage, you're very calm and you are for yourself.
Yes.
And then you go to the stage and you are completely the opposite. And then you go down and you are calm again.
Right.
And for me, it seems like it's very calculated. You know exactly what you are doing. It's not like it's a show, but it's like very, very, wie sagen wir, durchdacht.
Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah. That's
and this
very
is
interesting that you saw that. Yeah.
And that's why it's. I think it's very beautiful that you can be intuitively, but you also can be very calculated in other stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I could imagine that you already had like a plan. Okay, I have to learn that, and I have to do that. But it was very intuitive.
No, that was very natural. Yeah. The plan and strategic, like the real, like how am I doing stuff, really came out of experience, and because I've seen everything, I've performed at the crappiest places ever. So until like now I'm doing crazy stages. So all those experiences led me into knowing what to do and when to do it.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think before we talk more, we will listen to your music because maybe we have some people that never heard something from you before. So we have you have this how do we say that? It's a series, Fresh Delivery.
Yes. Yeah.
And how many times a year you make it? Every month one, or?
I wanted to do it every month, but I had so many other projects that came in between.
Schedule.
Yeah, so I just want to finish this one because I set for a full year, which means 12 episodes. So I just need to finish it by just dropping 2 more.
Okay, so we listen to the number 10 now.
Let's do it.
Well, I think it's okay. So. It's a feature with 3 beats. 3 beats.
Okay, you had to bring it back to the boom bap, who that? Illis with the bars, let the groove snap, true facts. Rebel with the cause, check the movement, do this. Been ahead of time, set the blueprint, move bitch, shoot it with it. I'm truly gifted, it's script encrypted, they do not get it. Hieroglyphically spitting, shout out the souls of mischief. No Egyptian, but building pyramids with precision. Flows of wisdom, ripping these rhythms, this shit is so addicted. What up to Missy? I pity the fool who diss me. Many men killed in battle, still standing, salute the 50. These beats sufficient, nutrition, keep beating the competition, keep eating these composition, proceeding with no permission, no diddy. Put on no city, it's lyrics without the titties. Run around like they line petting these cities, huh? Fuck all the critics, a villain turning gorilla, but little did they know that I'm the realest. They can't do diddly pun. To the boom, 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 bap.
Bang your head, break the drumstick.
Illis with the bars, let the groove snap. Hieroglyphically spitting, shout out the souls of mischief. Boom, 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 bap. Boom, 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 bap.
Verbal assault.
I'm the realest.
Pessimist.
I'm glad that we talked about your how do you say, like how your song works, because everything was in this song already. It's crazy. Yes. So I think you got a little impact how StarrLight works or her music.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about the journey. You already said that you made like everything that you could to perform.
Yes.
So where are you now?
I'm now touring again. I'm very blessed to tour basically every year, so that's very awesome.
Internationally, right?
Yes, exactly.
You have to tell that.
Internationally, yes. I'm also creating an EP, actually finishing it. It's called The Arrival. It's coming very soon. Also,
Do you already have a date?
No.
Okay.
No date yet.
So follow on her Instagram,
Yes.
or you also have TikTok, right?
Yes.
That you don't miss the
Stay tuned
release.
on all socials. And I recently won an award, a Belgium Awards.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We can check on Instagram, right?
Yes, you can. Yes.
So we can show the people. But just go on.
Yeah, so it was for Best Rap and Hip Hop Artist, and that was very awesome. That was my first award, so that's a milestone. And yeah, so I'm very happy with that. But it still didn't really click yet. Like when I walk into my room and I see the award, it's like, oh yeah, I got an award.
Yeah, it's what is the feeling when you know, okay, you get one? It
It's
was
weird. It's weird. I was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden, yeah, they just mentioned my name, and I just went up there, and it just was so surreal. You were looking at it like, okay, that's mine. That's awesome. So yeah, that is a very surreal feeling. But yeah.
Yeah, and did you expect to get it, or it was like
No, I didn't, because we're in Belgium. So I didn't expect it, especially with all the other artists, and there were also local artists there. But yo, we got it.
Yes, congrats. Yeah, and I think it's also nice that it's the first year they did this award, right?
Yes, this is the first event. Yeah.
So it's good that we got more diverse award shows.
Yes.
Because we don't have to talk about the Swiss Music Awards right now, but there is like a little bit air
Okay. Yeah.
or space. Let's say, I think in English it's more space up to get a bit better. But yeah, so so I mean, now you are living the artist life, the dream life, or is there anything else you want to achieve in the?
To be honest, I have achieved so much more than I thought I would when I was sitting in my room with that plastic mic and my friends. Like I never did it for that. I did it just to express myself and for therapy. And then, oh, wow, I happen to be good. Oh, people actually like my music. Oh, that's cool. And then you blow up into being something you are now, and then you perform with so many legends and so many people that I grew up listening to, and that just came like on top of everything. So to me, I'm already living the dream, to be honest. So to me, it's only like creating new goals and new dreams. So yeah, it's always on to the next for me, and it's always on to the next project, which is maybe also not a good thing. I also have to reflect on what I actually already achieved. But yeah, it's always on to bigger, better.
You have such a healthy way to see things.
Thank you.
You have to give the people a little bit of advices, because we have a lot of artists that listen to our podcast, and you have I think it's really the right word. It seems healthy, and I think it's very hard for artists to find a healthy way to go through this journey.
Right.
So is there anything that pops to your mind that you think that could be helpful, or shall I ask a concrete question?
I think you can also ask a question, but I think you should always be yourself no matter what, and no matter who stands in front of you. It doesn't matter what artist, what legend, what promoter. It doesn't matter your status. Doesn't matter. We're all human at the end. Obviously, I'm alien. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
but yeah,
we come to that later.
And I think by being yourself, you can always step into any room. And this is also how you create authentic music, and you can stand behind your music. So to me would be the advice: never kiss any asses, to be on any stages, to get no, this and that. Like, be yourself at all times, and your journey is your journey. Don't try to get there the fast way.
Yeah, I think it's very important to not do things when you don't feel uncomfortable, because you think you have to do it now to get somewhere, because
exactly.
you will waste so much energy, so much pain, and it's not worth it. I think maybe in some cases it looks like it's worth it because they go on very fast. But that's not something long term, I think.
No, and don't chase the money. It should be for like yourself. This journey should be for yourself, and then everything else will fall into place, and you will also get that money.
And what would you say to people? Because I think when you are really authentic and you are integra and you are like a true person with a transparency,
Right.
then you are also a kind of authority. You know, they're good kind of authority. You know, there are two ones. The one when you scare people and make them small, and there's the other one.
Yeah.
And I think, or I experienced in some cases that people are threatened from that.
Okay.
So they start to make you smaller before you
They
even.
try, yes.
So what was your like, or what's your way to handle this, or to see what the people really are about? You know what I'm trying to
I
say?
think I just have like people knowledge. I just know from the vibes, from the energy already, what kind of person you are, how to handle you. The first, like before you speak, I already know what type of person you are, and it's not prejudging. It's just energy, it's vibes, it's instinct, it's experience also. So I already feel that up front, and when you start speaking, I already also know what type of person you are and how to speak to you. You know, so and also don't.
Now I am scared.
I also don't give a fuck about people's opinions. So
Yeah.
it makes it easier to handle anyone, you know? So that would be my advice. Just be yourself. Don't give a fuck about nobody.
Okay.
But with respect. Like, I always treat everybody with respect. If you disrespect me and we're in a work environment, because if I'm performing, it's business for me. So it's always, you will always get the best side of me. I will always handle it like it's a business. So you will not catch me out of character.
Okay.
So,
And maybe it's also good for the people. So like if you are not that experienced like StarrLight and have such a good sense, it's also good to look what are people doing and not what they are saying, for
yeah,
example,
absolutely.
right?
Actions speak way louder. But just like before you go off of everybody else, just go off yourself. You have to know yourself first
Yeah.
to go into that world. Yeah,
I agree. And this takes time. This is why
Yes.
you don't have to hurry with your career when you're
Exactly.
20. You are not too old. You are just on the journey.
Yeah, and you're also still developing yourself and finding out who you are and what you actually like and what you're about and what you're actually standing for. So it doesn't make sense to already make certain statements if you don't even know who you are.
Yeah, I think when you were 20, you didn't know that you are an alien. Or did you already know?
20? No, but it
You,
was
you know
close.
something is different,
Yes.
but you did not know what.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So let us explain to the people what is about this alien thing. You correct me if I say something wrong.
Yeah.
There is like the planet Starrazoid.
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 Yes, correct.
And you are like from there, and you
Yes.
take people with you to this place.
Exactly.
And through this alien, you can make like a more distant kind point of view about stuff. Because when I listen to your music, it's like it's not obviously political, but it's very political.
Right.
And this is, for example, the distance you can build with this planet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is how I was interpreting this. And what is your...
I like the fact that everybody got his own interpretation, especially it depends on when in my journey you came and how you got to know StarrLight and through which song and through which performance and which stage. So it really matters. But if you go into the catalog, there's like one big message. And yes, I'm extraterrestrial. And I created this planet because I just don't like what's happening on planet Earth right now.
I agree.
I wish I could actually just grab my spaceship and go to planet Starrazoid and grab everybody that feels the same. But it actually came from being a misfit. Like, I never grew up, I grew up with the popular kids and everything. Like, I never had that bully phase or whatever. I never experienced that. I was the one that was with the popular kids but was protecting the one that was getting bullied.
Yeah.
You know?
I got you.
So it was like, okay, I don't like, it doesn't matter what type of misfit. So if you poor, or if you like have a skin color, or like whatever the case may be, where you don't feel like you're part of the rest, this is what I was feeling, regardless of having like a normal, experience with society. I never felt like I was really fitting in, and this just grew into like, okay, maybe I'm just not human. And then
That was the closest conclusion, of
and
course.
then I actually started researching that as well, and then I really know 100% now that I'm not.
How did you find out, StarrLight? How did it work?
Because when you look around you, humans are acting weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have to change the topic now, otherwise the people don't like us anymore.
No, they know. If you know StarrLight,
Yeah.
it's all misfits. We all on this planet.
Yeah, and if you know this podcast, we have also opinions that are not always fitting. But yeah, I think this is a very interesting part, because I think, as you said, many people feel in some way they don't fit in. Mm-hmm. And this is like the safe space. But let's go a little bit deeper about the topic. So what is the message? You said there is a big message.
Yeah, there are multiple messages, of course. But the big message is being extraterrestrial and not being part of the rest, and not feeling and thinking the same as the rest. So I created my own, and the rest can join. So that's the biggest. Mm-hmm. But then I have multiple messages. I mean, I think the number one is empowerment. Mm-hmm. Just knowing who you are, knowing what you are, knowing your values, your powers, your skills, your everything. And then on the other side, I blatantly just say what is going on in the world. Mm-hmm. So that's then the political part of it.
And do you experience like backlashes or something because of the political statements?
No, never.
Or did somebody not book you because you have several opinions?
No, I never experienced that, because the people that are booking me know what my music is about. Mm-hmm. At least they should know.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be nice. So no, I have not experienced that or been canceled because no. But I have, but not for the political side. I have been canceled for a show for something totally different though, and that was like a festival for feminism and the LGBTQ community. And I got canceled for that festival, and that was super funny.
And you want to tell us why?
That was the reason why. Like the reason was basically that I'm homophobic or transphobic. Well, I have a whole wife and I have a relationship for 12 years with a wife. I'm married to a woman. But yeah, that was the reason. Because somebody in that organization said StarrLight is transphobic, homophobic.
Okay.
And then, I got canceled for that shit, and I started laughing.
Yeah, I can understand.
And it was a Swiss festival. I'm not dropping names. You know who you are.
You're very kind that you do not. Because in this podcast, we drop names.
Okay, if you want to find it, it's somewhere on my page.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen the faces of the rest of the team.
Yeah, that was funny. And we made it public, and they got a lot of backlash for that.
Yeah.
Everybody that follows me or is on Planet Starrazoid knows what I'm about. So that was the dumbest thing, but also the most hilarious that I've
This is why I was like, what was the reason?
Yeah,
because I mean, I know your private situation, so I was like,
That was funny.
What the hell? I mean, it's not like that you cannot be homophobic when you're
You can.
homosexual. Alice Weidel is the best example. But yeah, I mean, the problem was somewhere else, I think.
Yeah. The problem was between keyboard and,
Great, awesome. Switzerland did a great job again.
Yeah, that was a great job.
Okay, but I asked this question because I think
I actually forgot about that. That was funny.
yeah, that's crazy. Alter. Yeah, but that's a whole different other topic.
Yes. So never cancel for political. No.
No, not because of a reasonable reason.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there are not many, actually. I think some, but we don't go into this as well because. But I think a lot of artists say like, okay, I'm not doing political music because it's going to be dangerous. And what would you say to these people?
That they should just do whatever feels right, because you can only make this type of music if you live that life. Otherwise, it's not authentic. And then we come back to the authenticity. I think you have to be authentic in your music and don't lie. So if you're not living that life, you shouldn't talk about that. That doesn't make sense. So for me, it's like to each their own. Then you have a category that has is signed to a label that cannot freely speak, and they decide for them. Maybe they want to speak but cannot, and they chose not to. Also good. Then you have a group that spoke about it but is now scared of being canceled because of the whole cancel culture that all of a sudden came. Which I also understand if your priority is to have a certain fame, a certain, because you will get canceled of certain stages.
Yeah.
So I think everybody has their own journey and has their own topics they want to speak about. And if you are about that life, I think you should speak about it. And that's what I'm doing. And I don't care about being canceled or not getting certain stages because this is me. So if you're not booking me, then that's what it is. Yeah.
It's their loss.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you think people should be more, because we talked about this before we did the interview now, and sometimes I feel like people forgot that music is actually political. Even when you say you are not political, it's political, right?
It could be political. It depends. That's what I'm saying. It depends on your genre. It depends on your topic. I don't think because you're an artist, you should be political.
No.
And because you make hip hop, now you have to make gangster rap. You have to make political rap. You have to know, because it's an expression of yourself. It's an expression of feelings. So if you don't have those feelings, don't speak about it. I do think that if you do feel it, you should speak about it and be free to speak, because we should just stop being oppressed.
This is why I'm asking, because is there, in your opinion, a responsibility for especially famous artists to be political at some point?
I don't feel like it. I don't feel like the people that I listen to should be more political, because I listen to certain artists for their art. So if I want to have something political, I will go to that artist. If I want something club vibey, I will go to that artist. So for me, I will just choose the artist. I will not be mad at certain artists because they don't speak about it. No, they are in their own lane. So if you are like a trappish person and I want this trap music and this club music and, then I'm going to listen to that and not be mad at you because it's not political. That's crazy. There's plenty of artists that you can listen to that have touches these topics.
But there are also other ways to be political than through the music, because I think music is something you can choose, as you said, for a safe space, for something you want to feel angry or whatever. And then you can choose what kind of music you're listening to.
Right.
But there is always this complaining about famous people that they have a responsibility to give the people a voice that are not that loud or cannot be that loud.
Yes.
So what is your opinion about this?
I think that people should stop having expectations of other people. That would be my answer. I think that if you feel that somebody should speak up, why don't you speak up? Why should somebody else risk their life, their status, their whatever, because they also have a life, maybe have a kid, wife, whatever they put at risk because somebody in their bedroom is too scared to speak up? That's also crazy. So to me, no, I don't feel that way. No. And I also wouldn't want somebody to, because I have certain political topics, StarrLight has to be a political artist, because that is putting somebody in a box, and I don't like boxes. This is why I make different type of music. You cannot put me in a boom bap box. You cannot put me in that political box.
I can put you in a box, in that very talented.
Okay, thank you. I like that box. I'll take that box. Yes, thank you. But yeah, that's my opinion about that.
Okay. If you guys want to know more about this topic, or you have any questions or other opinions about this, write it in the chat.
Oh, they did.
Is there already something?
Yes, there is something.
Then give us the questions.
So I have, of course, a few emojis that explain the love for StarrLight.
Hey.
You're the best and everything. Then I
wow,
have Queen StarrLight from Gorolaris. Then we have Cherry Pie who says, I just want to say thank you, StarrLight. Your music helped me through so much in life. And seeing you live changed my life. You are a special breed, really. You might not know the impact you have, but you do. Thank you.
Wow. See, that warms my heart. And it's crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Then we have a question. What has been your best experience on stage so far?
Oh, that is a hard question.
You can
I
name
think-
several ones.
I don't think I'm going to name stages, but I think I'm going to name the type of stages. I like still the intimate type of concerts because it's intimate and I like to connect to people, and that's just very special because everybody's hearing what you're saying and actually watching you from, head to toe, and that is very special. But I also like the stages for good causes, the sort of called activism stages, because it's a good cause and it makes me feel like this is the reason why I started music in the first place. So if they book me for that message, that is extra special. And then when you perform and you see these faces, and it hits different than just performing for somebody that just came for a good night.
Yeah, because you also know everybody agrees with your opinion, and
Exactly.
this is such a crazy feeling. It's like when you go to
Yes.
protests or something.
Yes.
You just know you don't have to argue with anyone in this room
Exactly.
about normal for us,
Right.
normal ways to think.
Yeah. So these are my special stages, I would say. Yeah.
Like the one you did in November, the
Yeah, for
benefits
example.
concert.
Yes, for example, that one and the Unite Festival and stages like that. It's just different. The crowd is different. Like the people are different. The mindset is different. So your message also is received
Yeah.
differently.
So sad that LGBTQ festival said no.
It is what it is.
That answers the next question.
Oh, okay.
Do you think music can support protest movements?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yes, yes. Don't listen to my songs.
Thank you for all your questions.
Yeah,
It's
that was
very
awesome.
cute.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so
for
much.
the nice
Wow,
comments.
This guest is going to keep me here, huh?
So now we come to the question that burns under my nails the most. Why you are living in Basel?
Well,
So why you are in Switzerland? Why you chose this
Okay.
special place on Earth, on this beautiful planet,
let's tell that
to be
story.
here?
So, I was getting booked more often outside of the Netherlands, and Switzerland was, I think, the first. Maybe Belgium, but Switzerland was very close to that.
Is it a coincidence that both are famous for the best chocolate? Maybe they just have a good taste.
And I
don't know.
love chocolate, so, I was chasing the chocolate, actually. That's it. No. And then I just had a lot of shows in Switzerland. I got booked constantly. I just was, at one point in my career, I was more in Switzerland than at home at the Netherlands. And people here started to ask me, do you live here? I was like, no. And then I got the question, why are you not living here? And then I went to certain, like Basel was actually the first city that booked me. So I got there the first.
You're very loyal.
But no, I fell in love with that city, and then I
And then the
cruised all around
ASC came and now everything is over.
No, I moved all around Switzerland, and I loved every bit, but Basel always stayed with me somehow. And it's a city, and it's international, and it's near the border, etc. So I like that. And so once I came here multiple times, I just fell in love with the country. It was like, it's the same type of benefits as in the Netherlands, this fast city, but it's not, because you can actually go to nature, and it's not as many people as in the Netherlands. So it feels more free, and I can actually go where there's no humans, and there's actually mountains, and there's actually blue lakes. And yeah, the more I came here, and the fresh air and everything, I was like, oh, I was falling in love every single time I came here. And then in 2020, also my wife came with me a couple of times, of course, and also the first time I got booked in Basel, she came with me as well. And she loved it as well. But for us, it was something that would come later, you know. And then a pandemic hit. And then just to say it raw, it was like, am I going to die here now? And am I going to be happy? No, was the answer. So then we were like, yeah, what makes us happy? And in 2020, we came on holidays in Biel, actually, with the kids and stayed here for a week. And then the kids asked us, why are we not living here? And that
Really?
was our
Okay, wow.
confirmation,
That
all
made it
confirmations.
easy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And then just the whole thing just sped it up, you know, pandemic sped it up. We were like, fuck the Netherlands, and we were out.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then just we chose Basel because it's international, and for the kids, they have to like migrate to a whole new country, learn languages, you know. So for them, it's also a big change. So we chose something that was still familiar and not somewhere in the village. And
Yeah, I'm a bit-
because I would prefer that, but no.
I'm a bit disappointed that you didn't choose the Thurgau because it's
No,
also
I
on the
didn't.
border.
That's torture for the kids. I'm sorry. Shout out to Thurgau.
She already knows.
But I'm not doing that.
Yeah, as I said, you're very smart, so. Okay, I see. And I think Basel is also a good place for music.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So it's, you know, in Switzerland, people are always so focused on Zurich.
Yeah. I
But
heard that.
the culture scene in Basel is crazy.
very
I
nice.
just say Leila Moon and the whole story. This was crazy. How they organized themselves
Yeah,
in like
exactly.
minutes and show the big middle finger to
Yes.
all the.
You see, shout out to Basel.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Except from the ESC and that you won the Super League Cup. That's sad for us, but good for you guys. And
I'm not into that, so I can't speak on that.
yeah, and it takes a lot of time to get in or out Basel at the moment, right?
Yes, it did, and it does. It's chaos, and it's right where I live as well. You know, the Mesa thing. So it's crazy.
Okay, so you feel the ESC, but you are not part. But
Exactly.
you are feeling that it's in the city now.
It's there. It's absolutely everywhere.
I mean, to be honest, I think in Basel there are very weird people. Because you can see everything over there. Maybe it's because it's at the borders, but you really can see everything.
That's why I like Basel.
Is it getting more intense now? Or is
know
it
how it
like,
was
oh no, for us in Basel, that's normal. We know
you
this
mean with the
people.
Eurovision? No,
Yeah.
no, it's the same. Man.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm
got
talking
everything there
about.
already.
For them, it's like, no, it's a normal day in Basel,
Yeah,
just chilling.
It's just more tourists. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So we are already at the near end.
Okay, that was fast.
Yeah, it was very fast, but I mean, you're also a very good interview partner.
Oh,
so
thank you. I appreciate that.
I think we just have two questions left. The first one is like, what do you think? Where is the music scene in 10 years?
That's hard to predict because I don't even know where the world will be in 10 years.
Yeah, especially
But-
since AI, it's so difficult to answer this question.
Let's say the world is going to be awesome and how it should be and the time
And still there.
it's supposed to be. Then I think that there will be the authentic, the essence, the substance will be back.
Yeah.
Because it's starting already. The shift
I
is
agree,
starting
yeah.
again. The whole mumble rap phase and stuff is over now. So we're going back to real music. And I think in 10 years, it will be like, you know, commercial again to make like real music.
Yeah, but let's stay at the place where we can predict. For example, I also think that big celebrities like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, they are making their own career now, not a profit, with these big concerts because now they want to have like until 5,000 francs for a ticket, and you do this once, not twice, maybe twice, but not a third time because nobody can afford this,
Right.
especially now. And for example, Beyonce is already proving this theory because now she had her third big tour,
Okay.
and she's not selling out anymore.
Okay, yeah, I'm not really following, but okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
So, and the other thing is that the festivals have more and more problems to get big headliners because they want to have more money for their concerts, and they are not that into festivals anymore because they prefer to do these big concerts.
Yeah.
So I think the long term, how do you say, like the long-term thing that happens out of it is that people go back to authentic and smaller artists because, and that's why I think you're right with your
and actually are flexible to change their budget.
yeah. I also think that the festivals in the future will be more away from the commercial thing,
That would be nice.
and more back to the authentic. Yeah, because I think, for example, I'm sorry, but I think openers like Opener Zurich, it won't survive because it's founded late and it's very commercial. But for example, Opener St. Gallen, Opener Frauenfeld, they are very old. And for example, Opener Frauenfeld started as a rock festival. So I think they can survive if they go back to not that commercial ways.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, and also I think there will be new platforms as well.
I hope so. Maybe we will do one.
Generation will take over as well because the artists that you just mentioned are also 10 years older. So there will also be new people.
I hope so.
Yeah,
so let's hope for that.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you could have a wish, and it doesn't have to be realistic, but what would you wish for the music industry or from the music industry? Or from the people? It doesn't matter, it just have to be somewhere around the music.
I think that I want to go to a place where everybody feels safe and comfortable to actually speak their minds. Because I think then we will get the craziest music ever. And back in the days, that is what was happening with jazz and blues and rock, and it started super raw. And I think we're kind of deviating away because of an image or like, mostly image and mostly status and mostly fame. So I hope and I wish to be at a place where everybody can just make what they actually want. Yeah, that would be very awesome.
That it's more out of an authentic thing and not because of, for example, also the thing with authority, that when authority comes naturally, it's not something bad.
True.
So if everything would be more authentic, I think it also would not be that bad in the planet.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So did we get any questions or anything?
More comments, fan comments. It's like, you are very well known in our scene and we love you, superstar status.
Superstar status. That's a good song title.
It is.
I think I know what scene is meant.
Maybe that should be the next track, right? Superstar status.
Yeah, excellent podcast.
This is Abid. Hello.
Abid! Salam to Palestine!
So before we finish, we will do our category, our second one, and it's called This Is Not My Job. So tell me your experiences.
I actually, I'm coming again with a weird answer.
I beg you to give us the weird stuff.
I actually didn't experience something that is not my job. Why? As if we're speaking about music, of course. Why? Because I think that everything is my job. I am, of course, not for the venue. I'm not supposed to run your venue or whatever, but I think I am responsible for me getting there, for me doing the sound check, for me making sure that the promoter or the person that booked me knows me, making sure that everything is on point, making sure I do my show on point. So for me, everything was my job, actually. Like making sure the lights were good, making sure my mic was good. Like everything else that happens afterwards is out of my hands because I'm not actually doing the buttons, But to me, everything actually was my job. What is not my job is being responsible for catering your feelings. I'm not a role model, so my job is not to be a role model. My job is to actually spread a message, and whether you understand that message or not, that's up to you, but it's not my responsibility for you to get that message or not, or to tell your children not to listen to my music or not. That's not my responsibility. So for me, it's to be not a role model. That's not my job.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I cannot really add something because it was a good answer. Let me think about is there any question open to this answer? I don't think so. Yeah. No,
I think this was awesome.
it was an awesome answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So is there anything left you want to say or you want to add to this interview?
No, first of all, thank you for having me. It was awesome to be here. First time Twitch, so that was also cool to see how that works. My message is always, you're awesome, be awesome, stay awesome. Remember the name, remember the face. StarrLight, we out, and stay awesome.
Thank you very much. And yeah, follow her on Instagram. You are on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, I'm everywhere.
We'll pack the links in the show notes as usual. And thank you very much for your time and your great answers and your opinions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And
Thank you,
for the
guys.
Great question. Shout out to the chat.
Yeah, it was very active today. That's nice. So we also have to say something because there will not be another episode of this podcast anymore. This is the last one.
Really?
You were the last guest.
With the alien.
We will end with the best.
High note.
Exactly. And thank you for everybody that was listening to us for the last 3
Shout out
years.
to my wife in the chat.
Shout out to her wife. Shout out to everyone that was listening to this. And we thank you very much. And yeah, there will be other projects from our team. Just follow all the guys. You find all the Instagrams in the Bubble Podcast Instagram. And yes, let us know if you like the project. And yeah, I can't say see you soon, so say bye. Thank you.